Welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris, aka Hood Digital, aka the Handicapped Pedestrian, aka the Starving YouTuber. Yes, sir, the Handicapped Pedestrian it is for today and for the next 15 days. Um, I mentioned, I think, last video or the video before that I woke up with a sprained ankle. And that was all to it. I couldn't go to the gym. The next day, I went to the gym. I just didn't work on my legs because it was still kind of bothering me. It was still a little bit uncomfortable. But I went to the gym. I went with wifey. Yeah, I did mention I went with wifey and it was all good. And yesterday it started hurting a lot. I was working. I was dying to do a video yesterday. Like I said, it's my new fix. I guess they don't do this no more. This was when they used to shoot dope. But anyway, woke up. Well, yesterday I was in pain, starting to hurt. I guess it was because the day before I walked around on it a lot. I slept on it. I thought it was all good. I guess I abused it. And yesterday, like an hour before, when I was working, I had to leave. I had to log out. I work here at home, so I had to log out. I told my supervisor, listen, I gotta go. I gotta lay down. This is killing me. And today I woke up, couldn't walk. Well, last night I was in pain also. And this is the results, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. I'm in a cast, got my little Big Daddy Kane over here. Got a real Big Daddy Kane. And that's it. This is where we at right now. This is where we at right now. But it's all good. I'm here. I'm grinding. I wouldn't feel right if I wouldn't have done this video. Um Thankfully I work at home, so I'm not gonna be off the next 15 days. My job is like right next to my bed here, so I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna grind. I'm gonna ride till the wheels fall off. And today, um, shout out to World Star Hip Hop, by the way. Found a new content tool, and I found something. Found something good. I had something else in mind to do, which wasn't really a reaction. Let me lower my AC a little bit. Which wasn't really a reaction, but I'm gonna put that on ice right now because I like this one. I seen a couple clips on it. I know more or less what's it about. As you can see in the video, it deals with women. See some booty. Booty's always a good thing. Booty's selling a lot these days. And attention is the new currency, as they say. So, let me get my little water here. Let me get my little water. I wanted to get some coffee, but wifey had to run some errands. Had to go get me some pills, some medication. That's something else that she had to miss work. But anyway, that's another story. I want to focus on this one here. We're talking popular Philly Muslim woman killed by ex in the barbershop after stealing his money and properties to splurge with new man. The tragic story of Tiffany Wade. Based on what I've seen here, it deals with a couple. I guess they wasn't married. I'm not sure. I know. I guess they had a little son together. This is what I understood from the little clips that I've seen. But homie was a baller, a big dick nigga. He was big dicking it out there. Had some properties. Had cake. Had the bag, as they call it, and it was doing his thing. I don't know. I don't know what he was pushing. I didn't see that. We're gonna see that. You're gonna hear about it. But he put everything on his name, on her name, and homie got hemmed up. Homie got locked up. Went to jail, and homegirl took all his stuff and did the dipping with a new dude. And when homie came out, he wasn't feeling that at all. This is all I know so far. Let's begin. Do sound very hostile. Do sound like he for real, for real, for real, for real. Let's keep watching.
Natifa and Armand had been married before, and they had a son together, which is one of the kids seen with Natifa. Armand was rich at the time and had lots of properties around Philly and Miami, but due to his criminal records, he acquired most of the properties in Natifa's name. Something happened along the line, and Armand had to go do some time in jail again, so he put Natifa in charge of all his properties for her to take care of it while he was away. Not too long after, Natifa was put in charge. She changed the ownership of all the properties to her name, divorced him while in jail, and worst of all, she got married to another man and started a new.
See, y'all need to be careful, man. Listen, everything that I say, I need to remember it's coming from an old head's perspective. It's coming from an old head's perspective. I have the old head ways. When you see that you got a woman and the woman is just all about herself, her image, and she got to have this, and she got ambition without actually putting in work, you need to be careful. You need to question when somebody next to you, whether it's a girl, homeboy, family member, mom, pops, brother, sister, cousins, you need to actually always reevaluate and always try to identify that purpose, that person's genuine purpose for being around you. If you want to know who's really with you for real, and somebody told me this, throw yourself on the floor. Make them put yourself in a position when you need them, and they know you need them. That's when you know. Before that, you will never, ever, ever, ever know. And something else that I'm going to say, loyalty You can never. Loyalty is something very personal. Trust is something very personal. You might trust somebody for a certain reason that I might not trust that person. We all know why we trust somebody and why we distrust somebody. Because trust is something that's internal. You can't turn it off and on. You can't, no matter what. A trust is earned with a million actions, and trust is lost with one action. Because once you lose trust for somebody, once you don't trust somebody, that's it. No matter how much you say you trust them, that's BS. That's dead. It's something that comes from inside. It's dead. That's it. You can't just turn it off and on. You can't. It's like hate and love. Either you feel it or you don't. Other than that, it's all just faking the funk, lying to yourself and lying to the next person. But let's keep watching.
New life. Now, after Armand did his time and was out, he discovered that all his properties were listed in someone else's name. He confronted Natifa and demanded for his properties back from her, but she kept playing him, going back and forth, still flaunting luxury on her social media with her new man. Armin got angry and started sending threats. She recorded everything, the conversations, text voice notes, mail as evidence, because she knew he was going to do something crazy. But she didn't know when or where, until the day he traced her down to the barber shop where she took their son for a haircut and unlived her right in front of their son. My
There go dude right here, man. Dude reminds me of Arab. What's that dude's name? I think it's Arab out of Philly. Big baller. I think he's doing a gang of time in the feds. Yeah, Arab. Peace to Arab. Shout out to Arab. Good rapper too. Um See, I think Homegirl's plan here was okay, so I take his stuff and I know he's aggressive. I know he bout it. So when he come home, I'll use son as a shield. I'll use the cops. She had a plan because she knew that. I don't think that she thought that he was just gonna come home and leave it at that. I think part of her plan was the son. Nah, he ain't gonna do nothing. I'm his baby mama. He ain't gonna kill his son's moms. I guess. I guess she was wrong. Let's keep watching.
question is, didn't he know the kind of woman he married, and why would he entrust everything to her? Is it love or what? We live in a world where it's hard to trust oneself, not to talk of trusting someone else, especially with money and luxury. Dear viewer, was it right or wrong for him to have entrusted all his properties to her?
I want to answer that. There's a lot of factors to that. First of all, only he knows. Even the people he probably told why, he explained why not. Only he knows the actual reason. I think one of the main reasons is that's his baby mom's. That's the mother of his son. No matter what, she's not going to leave her son out in the cold. Hey, baby moms. Big reason. Okay, so I think that played a big factor. Once again, only he knows the reason. Only he knows that. Nobody else knows that. Um, but I think in the back of his mind, he knew. He knew. He knew he was. He knew that he was taking a gamble. He knew that he was playing Russian roulette. He knew that. He knew that. He put her in a position where she could have easily betrayed him. He tried it. He tried her. And I think in the back of his mind, he knew what was going down because you could tell just by looking at the pictures. She's a glamour girl. She's all about the bougie life, like they call it. Isn't it the bougie life they call it? I know I'm an old head. I don't know. I'm just saying that because I felt like saying that. But she's all she's all about the bad and bougie. Uh, what is it? The Dolce and Gabbana purse and things of that nature. So I think trust is, like I said before, trust is very personal. Only one person can explain why. My answer to that is that's his baby mama. He knew that leaving it to somebody else, probably his kid wasn't gonna be all right. He was ensuring his kid's well-being, financial status, and I guess he wanted to take that gamble, thinking that if he does that, she was gonna hold it down with him. Very hard, very hard, very tall order for her, I guess. Let's keep watching.
Are his reactions and actions justified? Why would he end a life due to materialistic things? No weapon, no suspects in custody. It was a crime that left more questions than answers. The barber shop on Wesley High Avenue wasn't just a scene of tragedy, it was the epicenter of an investigation that quickly intensified.
So now we see more or less what's going on. I mean, there's still a lot to this video, but we more or less see. Now, the narrator asked, why would why would he just kill her over material stuff? I don't think that was the case at all. I think this case had to do more with principles. I don't condone what he did, but I understand what he did as a man. See, what some women don't understand is that when you betrayed a man in this type of manner, the man feels raped. He feels violated. He feels hurt. And he feels though he has a pain inside that he can only get rid of by causing pain. It hurts. Um, I haven't been hurt by a woman in such a manner. I've been hurt, of course, but not in this type of way. Not as bad. Let's just say not as bad. It's hurt bad, but not as bad that I have to go and commit something like this. Something else I was gonna say before I forget. The narrator he said materialized stuff. I bet you that he didn't actually do it because of the actual material stuff. Let's say, for example, she would have burned the house by mistake, burned the whole house down. $1 million house, she burns it by mistake. She gets out alive, kid gets out alive, she goes to prison, she goes to visit him, she goes on a visit, tell him, listen, I burned the house by mistake. He would have never gotten out and killed her. Let's say she has some type of problem, family member, mother sick, she spends it, some type of issues like that, but she holds it down with him and she keep it real with him. He would have never committed this action. Let's keep watching.
Nidifa Wade's murder wasn't random, and police knew they had to act fast. But with no clear evidence to guide them, the clock was ticking. Investigators scoured the scene for any trace of evidence. Every inch of the barbershop was examined. Door handles, floors, windows. But the weapon used to take Natifa's life was nowhere to be found. The absence of this critical piece of evidence complicated the case further. Witnesses described hearing the gunshots, but the chaos of the moment left their accounts scattered. Law enforcement pieced together a basic timeline, but a clear narrative was still out of reach. Realizing the case was at a standstill, the police turned to the public for help. A $20,000 reward was announced for any information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person responsible. Flyers were distributed, tip lines were flooded, and the call for justice echoed across the community. But even with the reward, leads were slow to surface. How effective do you think these rewards are in solving cases like this? As the investigation continued, pressure mounted. Every day Armand Hilton remained at large. Fear grew. Would the man deemed armed and dangerous strike again? Police poured resources into tracking Hilton down, working day and night to follow up on every lead. But with
See, when you live in the hood, and I'm gonna speak on this with the perception of based on my experience, my time. Remember, I'm from the old school. But the logic behind you getting $20,000, trying to cash a $20,000 reward, if you live in the hood, for example, and you know dude's family, you know dude's homeboy, you know dude got a loyal team behind him. He got dudes that'll put in work behind him. You would think twice about getting that reward because all that remain anonymous. Nah, man, not in the hood. In the hood, remaining anonymous means you got to get the fuck out the hood and you got to move out. And if you got family there, you got to move them out. And you're gonna have to leave somebody, and sometimes 20,000 it just ain't enough. They're gonna know it's you because you live in the projects. You're on welfare. You ain't got no job. You struggling. What you gonna do? All of a sudden you come across $20,000 and homie got caught. Somebody gonna put two and two together and you gonna stay in the hood. It didn't happen in my days. That didn't happen in my days. I don't know about now, but it didn't happen in my days. Let's keep watching.
no weapon and only fragments of information, they faced an uphill battle. Some people said she should have returned what belonged to Armand and move on with her new man. But that doesn't give him the right to take her life. He promised to take her life and go back to prison. And that's exactly what he did, but still hasn't gone to prison.
Why is it that, according to the narrator, why is it that this is still being looked upon that he just came out and killed her because of material stuff, because of the actual stuff he took? I seriously believe, besides the stuff she took, I seriously believe it's just the the disloyalty, the betrayal. I think that's what sealed her fate. I think that was his biggest motivation, the betrayal. You understand? That was his biggest motivation. The fact that you just, I guess, you stop going to visit, stop going to see him. I come home, you got a new man, you got another man around my child. When I left you all these things, I left you all these things so you could share it with my kid, and you just disappeared, took my kid and my things and my properties and stuff and all that, and all of a sudden you just ain't gonna give me nothing because you gonna do you, and I'm supposed to just sit back and do nothing. And the reason why you did it is probably because you know that was dirty money, and I couldn't take you to court. Not right, not right. You can't just say no, I wouldn't do that. That's wrong. You can't just say he's wrong for doing that. No, if you tell me he's wrong for doing that, you got to put yourself in that predicament. If you ain't been in that predicament, I ain't been in that predicament. But I kind of see, I put myself in his shoes. Like, I transport myself. I teletransport myself. And, damn, what if that would have been me? At least it would have ran through my mind to knock her head off. Listen, man, not everybody thinks alike. Not everybody has the same emotion. Not everybody has the same actions. Not everybody has the same reaction. Let's keep watching.
For her family, every moment without answers feels like an eternity.
And you know what's crazy? During all these videos, I guess he was in there. And she putting it out there that she's balling. She flashing. She got the bag. She in the bag, like they said. She in the bag. She in her bag. Look at her. She all in her bag. With another dude money though. You all in the bag and you putting it out there knowing that he gonna see this. Oh, you all in the bag with my money? You all in the bag with my bag. You all in my bag. Man, listen, man. Let's keep watching. Look at her, look at her.
I just came ready to say my birthday is tomorrow. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. You don't have a tripod at all? Somebody stole it. I burnt my leg. I lost my mind. I was only drunk because I didn't have no food. Nobody cared that I didn't have food. Y'all just kept giving me Patron. I didn't have any food all night long, and I pay all the money for that food.
Philadelphia police have identified a suspect in connection with a deadly shooting inside a North Philly barber shop. 44-year-old Armand Hilton is wanted for murder, robbery, and related charges. Police say he shot and killed Natifa Wade inside a barber shop on Lehigh Avenue on Saturday afternoon.
It was a quiet Saturday afternoon in Philadelphia. A barbershop, just like any other, filled with the hum of clippers and friendly chatter. Families walked by, unaware that this ordinary day would soon be shattered by an act of unspeakable violence. A single gunshot, then another. The peaceful neighborhood was jolted awake as chaos spilled onto the street. Inside the barbershop, a life was taken in the blink of an eye. But this wasn't just any random act of violence. The killer, still out there, armed, dangerous, and leaving behind more questions than answers. But this isn't just a story about a murder. It's about a chilling trail of evidence, a suspect with a shadowy past, and a motive that will leave you questioning everything. On October 7, 2023, in North Philadelphia, a barbershop on the 2500 block of West Lehigh Avenue became the scene of a fatal shooting. A 40-year-old woman, later identified as Natifa Wade from Coatesville.
Damn it, she 40, man. You figured she'd be smarter than that, yo. She 40? Damn, yo, she 40. I thought she was like in her 20s or something, man. Come on, man, you 40 years old. This is crazy. You know what it is? That sometimes some of these old head broads, they ain't really been in the bag, or they never even had nothing during their whole youth. All of a sudden, they come across and they come across some change, and they want to go crazy. This is a 40-year-old woman, man. You should have had more mentality than that. You should have known, dude. And may I add that based on what I heard, dudes from Philly get to it, man. Dudes from Philly ain't no joke. Philly dudes, they put it on, man. They get it in. Let's keep watching.
Pennsylvania, was shot in the torso and head. Medics pronounced her dead at the scene. Why did this happen? Was this personal or part of something unsettling? And how did a quiet corner of Philadelphia become the backdrop for such a brutal crime? Stay with us as we unravel the layers of this perplexing case, exploring the investigation that followed, because the deeper we dig, the more disturbing this story becomes. From the moment the shots were fired to the manhunt that's gripping an entire city, and what we uncover might just make you look over your shoulder tonight. And at some point, I'm going to introduce the most
40 years old. Look at her. 40 years old, man. Nah, man. Need to be better than this, man. We need to be better than this, man. We need to do better, man. As people. I'm not talking about race or none of that. Just as people, we need to do better. Us old people need to do better. This shouldn't be the actions of a 40-year-old woman. You should have known better. You got a son. When you got kids, you need to know how you move, man. Before you take any type of actions, especially actions like this, you need to think about your kids, man. Especially when you're 40. Usually when you're 40, I mean, the kid looks young. The kid looks like he's 10 years old. But usually when you're 40, you got grown kids. But anyway, let's keep watching.
Intriguing twist in this story that will leave you perplexed. This is the tragic story and mystery behind the tragic death of Nitifa Wade. This tragic story took place in Philadelphia, often called the City of Brotherly Love. Has a rich history, but faces significant challenges in recent years, including rising crime and gun violence. As of late, the city has struggled with alarming homicide rates, with gun-related crimes contributing to much of the violence. Community efforts and law enforcement initiatives are ongoing to address these issues, but the impact of gun violence continues to resonate deeply. This tragic backdrop frames the heartbreaking story of Nitifa Wade, underscoring the urgency for justice and solutions.
Shout out to Philly, man. Shout out to Philly. You know what's crazy? I've been to Reading, PA. Never got. I went to Camden, New Jersey, of course. The only time, and it's sad, the only time I visit Philly was when I went to Philly Airport to come over here, handcuffed and shackled. The only time I ever stepped in Philly, man. Sad, man. I never actually had an actual Philly cheesesteak in Philly. But shout out to Philly. Shout out to Beanie Siegel, one of my favorite rappers. Shout out to Cassidy, dope rapper, especially Beanie Siegel, man. Oh, shout out to Patsy. I know who I'm talking about.
Nitifa Wade wasn't just a name in a news report.
Vinny Paz. Shout out to Vinny Paz. One of the best white rappers out there. Vinny Paz. Box cutter Patsy. That's who I meant to say. Anyway, I just wanted to say this. You see all these pictures and all these videos of they showing her and they're trying to victimize her? But I bet you all this balling and all this stuff she's showing and flaunting like she in her bag, it's all with dude's money. They still haven't mentioned what she does for a living. Obviously.
She was a daughter, a friend, a business owner. She hailed from Coatesville, Pennsylvania, a town southwest of Philadelphia. A devout Muslim, her faith was a guiding force in her life. She was known to be a kind and giving person. Her friends describe her as generous, hardworking, and full of life.
Come on, man. Let's be serious, man. She's a Muslim. She's a Muslim. If you guys are watching this, in the comment, any Muslims out there watching this, please let me know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not of the Muslim religion. Been locked up with Muslims. Good dudes. But is this Muslim behavior? Is this really Muslim behavior? She was generous, probably generous with other people's money, with dude money. They're trying to make her seem like she, what, Mother Teresa? Let's keep watching.
According to her social media, she was passionate about helping people. She opened a home healthcare service for the Philadelphia community. She was the owner of a cleaning service, a herbs and spices seasoning shop, a hair extension business, amongst others, and a little bit of real estate, which is a testament to her drive and entrepreneurial spirit. She was also a registered nurse and a mother to 3 adorable children.
Okay, so she was working. Okay. Okay, so she was working. But all those businesses, they didn't investigate where they come from. All those businesses, she probably didn't get it working as a registered nurse. Right? And then sometimes all that charity, all those charity projects, a lot of times they're basically done to make other people look the other way. So we're not gonna be, you know, how did you start that? What money did you use? Where did that money come from? Let's keep watching.
This detail alone adds a whole new dimension to this tragedy. Imagine the void left behind. What do you think is the hardest part for a family to endure after such a loss? She's always seen flaunting her wealth on her Instagram page, buying designer clothes, fancy cars, luxury vacations, and living her life to the fullest. But on that October afternoon, she wasn't at her business or on vacation. She wasn't at home with her family. Instead, she was at a barbershop on West Lehigh Avenue in North Philadelphia. Why? That's the question investigators and those who loved her are still asking. Why was Natifa at that barbershop on West Lehigh Avenue that day? That's a question that haunts this case. While details are still emerging, it appears she had accompanied a friend or relative. She wasn't simply a random victim. There was a connection, a reason she was there at that specific time. This wasn't a robbery gone wrong. It wasn't a random act of violence. This was something else. Reports began to surface suggesting a possible domestic element to this case. This information changes everything. It paints a picture of a situation far more complex and personal than initially imagined.
So obviously, if they had to investigate this so deep, I guess there were other suspects at first. So I guess her friends and her new man, I guess none of them were mentioning him as a suspect. And I guess because it was like a random act, like they was investigating, they had to do, because a lot of times when something's obvious, they don't have to do that much investigation. They just focus on somebody and just go after that dude. They just stay there. What's his alibi? Let's check his alibi. Let's check his phone records. Let's check this. Let's just go after him because we know it's him. We're not going after nobody else. But I guess this wasn't the case. I guess maybe her new man was a suspect. Maybe this, maybe that. So I guess she something that they didn't mention, or if they mentioned it, I didn't catch it. How long was he in jail? How long was Dude in jail? I guess she thought that she moved on and he moved on, and this was all just that's it, dead. That's it. You took my shit. Let's let it go. This is what I'm understanding. But let's keep watching.
This wasn't a stranger on stranger crime. It was something far more intimate, something that likely involved someone Natifa knew. This is where the story takes a truly disturbing turn. If this was a domestic situation, what led to such extreme violence? What could have possibly triggered such a devastating outcome? And who was the person connected to Natifa in such a way? These questions hang heavy over this investigation, and they form the crux of what we'll explore next. Don't go anywhere, because the next part of this story will leave you speechless. It was just before 2 p.m. on Saturday, October 7th, 2023. A typical weekend afternoon. But inside a barbershop on the 2500 block of West Lehigh Avenue in North Philadelphia, that ordinary day was about to be shattered. Imagine the buzz of clippers, casual conversations, the smell of aftershave, and then a single gunshot. Everything changed in an instant. What do you think would be going through the minds of the people inside at that moment? Share your thoughts in the comments. Witnesses described the chaos that immediately followed.
Should be panic, man. It's never happened to me, but damn, you in the barber shop, you cutting your hair, or you waiting to cut your hair. People talking, you all relaxed, you chilling, probably having something to drink. Everybody just chilling. Somebody just walks in there with a gun. Now, the first thing that should run in your mind is, of course, while you panic, is this a robbery? That's the first thing that's gonna hit you. It's a robbery. This country, 99.9% of the time, it's a robbery. And they just want things, and they usually don't put it on you unless you act up. If you act up, they're ready to shoot. But anyway, the next thing is, they came here looking for somebody. Maybe he acted quick, though. He just went directly to her, boom, 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 and just ran. That's it. Take the money, take nothing. That makes it easy for the cops to investigate because they know already that it wasn't a random act because he just went directly to her, directly to the victim. So that basically, after that, they had their work cut out for them. But she apparently has a big circle of people, friends, family members. So there's a lot to investigate. So I guess they didn't just automatically assume, okay, that's the camera. Okay, yeah, she's her ex-man, or she was in jail, this and that. And let's get to him now. They explored the possibilities.
Panic erupted, people scrambling for cover, shouting, the immediate realization that something terrible had just happened. Natifa Wade had been shot. She suffered gunshot wounds to her torso and head. The barbershop, a place of routine and community, had become a scene of unimaginable violence. This wasn't some distant event. It happened in a place where people gathered, a place that suddenly became a crime scene. It's hard to imagine the fear and confusion those present must have felt. Within minutes, first responders arrived at the scene. Paramedics rushed inside, but it was too late. Natifa Wade was pronounced dead at the scene. The time was just after 2 p.m. The barbershop was cordoned off, becoming a focal point for police investigators. The initial reports were sparse. A woman shot inside a business. No weapon recovered. No suspects in custody. Just a devastating loss and a growing number of unanswered questions.
See, this guy, the perpetrator, you can tell this guy's from the streets. This guy knows the streets. This guy knows the system. He knows about investigations, more or less. Because when you're in the streets and you balling and you work in the street and you out there and you go to jail, you come home, especially in jail you not only things don't necessarily have to you have to experience it to know about it. You hear about a lot of stuff, and you learn a lot in jail. You learn a lot about the laws and stuff like that, about what can happen, what should you do, what time you get for this, or what time you get for that, and more or less how they investigate. What I was about to say is that somebody else would have really planned this out, and they wouldn't have just shot her. They would have shot two or three more people. Just to, I mean, you're gonna get, if you get caught, ain't no coming home anyway. But just to throw them off, I'm surprised he didn't do it. Maybe because he has a heart and he feels as though, nah, I don't want to shoot anybody that's innocent, and he thought about the family, which I'm glad he did. But let's keep watching.
But amidst the initial confusion, a crucial detail began to surface.
Uh
This
oh.
wasn't a random act of violence. This wasn't a robbery gone wrong. This was something different. The police began to focus their investigation on the possibility that Nitifa Wade was targeted.
There you go.
This changes the entire narrative. It suggests a motive, a connection between the victim and the perpetrator. What could that connection be? What could have led to such a brutal act? This new information creates a disturbing picture, a puzzle with missing pieces. And the answers, as they begin to surface, are more unsettling than anyone could have imagined. The question on everyone's mind was, who could have committed such a brutal act? Who would walk into a barbershop and take a life so carelessly? Then the police released a name, Armand Hilton. This changed everything. The investigation had a face, a focus. But who was this man? And what connected him to Nitifa Wade? Armand Hilton, known by the street name Speedy, 44 years old, from Chester, Pennsylvania, became the prime suspect in Nitifa Wade's murder. Details about his specific background are limited, but the crucial piece of information was this. There was a connection between Hilton and Nitifa. Reports suggested a domestic element to the case, hinting at a relationship between the two. This wasn't a random act. It was something far more personal, far more disturbing. What kind of relationship do you think they had? The charges against Armand Hilton were severe: murder and robbery. This indicated that the police believed the motive extended beyond just the taking of a life. Robbery suggested another layer to this crime, perhaps a financial element. This detail adds another layer of complexity to the case, suggesting a possible motive beyond a personal dispute. The police issued a stark warning. Armand Hilton was considered armed and dangerous. A manhunt urgency in their message was clear. They needed to apprehend him quickly.
Yeah, but they didn't mention what evidence that they had at the time that it was actually him. Well, the narrator didn't mention that. I assume they had evidence, but they probably had a. You had when you have a motive, that doesn't mean you have evidence. That's just a motive. You could say that her new man killed her to try to take his money or whatever, take her money or whatever. But let's keep watching.
The public was urged to exercise extreme caution and to report any sightings immediately. This wasn't just an investigation anymore, it was a race against time. The thought of a potentially violent individual on the loose created a sense of fear and uncertainty.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna guess the evidence they have against him. It's probably phone records, recordings of phone calls and stuff like that. That's why at the beginning he was talking. They show you could hear him talking reckless. Yeah, he probably see that um there's such a snitch called self snitch. What they call it, snitching on yourself. Is that what you call dry snitch on yourself? Um, they have the new generation has a tendency of doing that. That's crazy. But anyway, let's keep watching.
But there was something else. Something from Armin Hilton's past that added a truly disturbing dimension to this case. Back in 2002, he was involved in a kidnapping case gone wrong. He was apprehended while he and his crew wanted to collect the ransom money, and he made the papers. This wasn't a minor offense. This was a serious crime that revealed a capacity for violence. This information casts a long shadow over the current investigation. It suggests a pattern, a history of dangerous behavior. This detail is important because it offers a glimpse into Hilton's past, and it makes the current situation all the more terrifying. It begs the question, what was he capable of now? This past incident raises serious concerns about the potential danger he posed to the public.
I would love to have asked that girl, man. Didn't you know this? Didn't you know who you was dealing with? Listen, I've been wanting to. I've been thinking when I first saw this. It has a long title, and I was like, damn. But what am I gonna call it? Because the title makes a big difference. I want to be eye catching, so people could click on my videos. And you know what struck up the fact I wanted to call it She Thought Shit Was Sweet. And it's true. Man, you knew dude was dangerous. What did you think? He wasn't gonna do nothing to you? And you could tell this dude right here, he was dangerous. He is dangerous. But he loved who he loved, man. He did right leaving all his things to his baby moms. That's a good thing. A man, that's a real man. A man does that. And the fact that she left with somebody else, I guess I'm just thinking, that wasn't the case. You probably okay. You left, you did you, but hold me down with those things were mine, my properties, my stuff. How the hell? What was on your mind thinking you were just gonna run off with my stuff, run off with another man, and you doing all these videos that you in the bag and you the queen and you do this and you big dicking it with my money, and you just gonna sweep me under the rug and that's it, and I'm just gonna keep it moving? Nah, it doesn't work that way. Still was his shit, and sometimes we try to victimize the victim too much, if you know what I mean. No, she wasn't no angel or this and that because she was doing charity thing. If it's the way that it's being explained, she was doing that with his money. She should have given him back his shit. Negotiate. Listen, boom, come clean. Not just oh, you in jail. That's it. You come home. This is my stuff now, and you ain't gonna do nothing because this was dirty money, and you a convicted felon. You try to take me to court, you know what's gonna happen. She was wrong. She was wrong. Dude made a decision. Dude decided, I'm going back to prison. All right, I'm gonna go back to prison, but I ain't gonna stay under the rug you swept me under. Let's keep watching.
What do you think about this previous crime? What does it suggest about this case? This is a crucial piece of the puzzle, and it sets the stage for what would happen next. And what happened next will make you question everything. Now here comes the intriguing twist. After Mind Twist, True Crime Stories did lots of finding and also word on the streets.
I guess it ends right there. I guess it ends right there. I would have to look for the rest of it. I guess homie um went to jail. I guess I'm gonna look for the rest. But guys, girls, don't be running off with your man bag and thinking he ain't gonna do nothing because he come home when he come home. And then on top of that, especially your baby daddy, and then on top of that, run off with they bag and splurge it, as they said in the title, splurge it with another dude. Some dudes might let that go, but some dudes are not, especially when they got a history of violence. When they got that violence track behind them, you should know that you ain't gonna be no exception to that violence. Okay? So, with this, we gonna keep it moving. I'd like to thank y'all for watching this video. Guys, subscribe. I'm in the cast. I got the Big Daddy Kane over here. And it's crazy. Just last video I said shout out to Big Daddy Kane. And here I am now with a cane. But yeah, thanks for watching, man. Guys, subscribe. I'm not getting any views. I'm gonna keep grinding. I'm gonna keep riding till the wheels fall off. Subscribe, like, hit the notification bell because I'm gonna be coming up with more videos. I'm gonna try to improve the background. I'm gonna try to improve my videos and do some investigations on how I can get my videos better. And get with me. Peace.